Hi guys, and welcome to this video where we will explore the main trigonometric ratios. So you may have seen this expression before, SOHCAHTOA, and that will help you remember the three main trigonometric ratios, which will be sine, cos, and tan. So sine, cosine, and tangent, as they're named, we abbreviate the three letters because that's how our calculator will represent them. So sine, which is opposite over hypotenuse, there you go, there's an opposite and there's a hypotenuse, so there's your SOH. Your CA, which is cosine or cos, is adjacent over hypotenuse, adjacent over hypotenuse, there's your CA, and TOA, which is your tan, being your opposite over your adjacent. So these three letters, and those three letters represent the three parts in each of the ratios. Another way you can remember it is through a couple of different mnemonics. So the main one that I learned in high school is sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Some old hens can always hide their old age. So we've got sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, tan is opposite over adjacent. Now, I've Googled a few others that I haven't really heard before, but you can make up your own. It doesn't matter which one you use, but however you would like to remember it. I think SOHCAHTOA is a nice way to remember it, so that is quite easy to remember. If you want to remember a mnemonic or come up with your own to help you remember, if that works for you, well then you can do that. So for the following triangle, let's find those three ratios, sine, cos, and tan. So sine theta is just saying, in relation to this angle, what is the three ratios, sine, cos, and tan? So that variable is just a Greek letter to say we don't know what that angle is, but let's write down the ratios. So the hypotenuse is always opposite the right angle, so there's your hypotenuse. Opposite is opposite the related angle, so we're looking at theta, so the opposite side is going to be the 3. And the one that's remaining is your adjacent side, so adjacent to this angle is this side length, which is 4. I know that this is also next to or adjacent to theta, but we already know that's the hypotenuse, so this must be the adjacent side. So the first ratio, sine theta, is opposite over hypotenuse. Here's your opposite, here's your hypotenuse, so the ratio for this particular triangle of opposite to hypotenuse is 3/5. So sine theta equals 3/5. Cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, that's 4/5. And the last one, tan theta, or the tangent of the theta, is equal to opposite over adjacent, which is 3/4. Okay, with this particular question, I'll get you to pause the video in a moment, and then you'll have to figure out what the relationship or what the ratios are for sine, cos, and tan. The only difference here is, we're using a different pronumeral. We can use alpha, we can use theta, we can use beta, we can use gamma, we can also use delta. These are all Greek letters, and we use those for pronumerals when we're talking about angles. So we actually have something missing here, so you might have to find that out as well. So pause the video and see how you go with this particular question. Okay, so as I said earlier, that we're missing the hypotenuse. So in any right angle triangle, if you've got one missing side, you can always work that out through a particular theorem. And you learnt that a couple of years ago. So Pythagoras' theorem helps you work out what the missing side is. In this case, it's the hypotenuse, so you're going to say x squared equals 5 squared plus 12 squared, which equals 169. When you find the square root of that, we end up getting 13. So this guy here is going to be 13. So sine alpha, which equals opposite. So here's our angle here. So opposite is 12. Hypotenuse, which is across the right angle, opposite the right angle. So we have 12 over 13. Cos alpha is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tan alpha is opposite over adjacent. Now you might be thinking, who cares? What does this all mean? Now this is the beginning part of trigonometry, where the first step is to find out what the ratio is. So this is an important skill to find out what the ratio is, because later on we'll have to work out what the angle is, or what a missing side is, like when we used to find out the missing side in Pythagoras' theorem, like we did here. So this is just a starting point to find out a missing side or an angle. So you'll just have to be patient and learn the trig ratios for the moment. Okay, so I'll get you to do this question. So pause the video and find out what the three ratios are. Okay, so I hope you got those three sine, cos and tan ratios. If you didn't, just work out what this missing side is. It should be 1.2, and then find out the three ratios. Okay, thank you for watching the video.